science of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. A beautiful quote by Albert Einstein. Jai Hind and a very good evening to Mr. Sandeep Patil, our faculty members and all the students of IIEBM. I, Andrea D'Souza, MC of this session, welcome you all to the orientation program for the batch 2023-2025. It's my honor to now introduce Mr. Sandeep Patil. Sir, may I have your permission to proceed?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Sandeep Patil works as a chief architect with IBM Storage CTO office and has over 20 plus years of extensive product architecture and design experience. Sir is an IBM STSM and IBM Master Inventor with over 380 plus worldwide patents. Also, Sir is among the top 2 leading inventors in India and has been recognized in World Prolific Inventor list by Wikipedia and awarded with Prolific Inventor Award by Global World IP Global Forum. We are also honored to have Sir as a member of the Board of Studies at IIEBM. Without any further ado, I would now like to invite Sir to address the young minds present here.
So who am I, right? As the lady said, right, I have been working for IBM almost for 23 years. Yes, I am an engineer at heart, right, but it doesn't really matter. It's essentially we all are professionals, right? And as I see a lot of you students have come across India out here. Right? Is this better? Yeah. Across India in this to become real professions. So mindset for successful career. Before we get into that, I wanted to understand, do you know what does orientation mean? Right, today is an orientation session for you all. And so essentially orientation means, anyone? Giving a brief about the institution. Any other thought? Yes? Okay, to kind of set a particular direction for a particular seminar. So essentially orientation really means that you have to, please sit down, is to orient yourself, right? What does orient yourself means? You have to set a particular direction, right? Now you are into this particular institute, we need to orient yourself, we have to set you into a specific direction. That is what I am going to cover here today. Right? Yes, I am an engineer with about 380 patents. If you go to Wikipedia, you will see me in the top 200 worldwide inventor list, etc. Right? And then you want to be thinking, hey, is Sandeep going to talk about how to patent? Right? That's not what I am here for. But what I am here for is, if you want to do a successful career, right? And let's say you want to achieve something like a 380 patents, or you want to groom engineers under you as an MBA candidate, that you want to get about your engineers get about 380 patents, 400 patents, and then grow your business. How you should be oriented to go about it, right? So that is what I'm actually going to talk about. So let's get started. Now today what I'm going to talk about is, तुम बोलोगे घर जाके अरे ये तो obvious चीज है, या संदीप ने कुछ सारे obvious चीज ही बताई है, right? This is something that my mom and dad have been telling me since childhood. So I'm already confessing that whatever I'm going to talk about is going to be obvious. But the difference is you will come to know that the obvious gets unnoticed, right? And that is what we will go through it. The other thing you can take is whatever I say is a data point, right? Based on my experience. So whatever I'm saying 100% works, and I'm a live example of whatever I'm going to say, of why it works, etc. So let's get this going. So who am I? I kind of gave you a brief introduction. This is what I'm going to talk about. What is a successful career? Now for a successful career, it's important for me to kind of orient your mind today, right? Once I orient your mind, in the next 2 years, you are kind of set on the right path. Then I'm going to talk about 2 key aspects of successful career. This I have to embed anew in this orientation session so that In the next 2 years, once you have these mantras in your mind, you are all set. It's all about mind. I'm going to talk about mind. I'll give you some basic examples which you can relate with your field. I'm not going to give you engineering examples. I'll give you examples of marketing, finance, etc. Growth mindset, innovation mindset, and what's the final takeaway. Okay? So if you look at who I am, typically you will go to Times of India a couple of years back, you go to some Data Quest magazine, you'll see me there, etc. And then you'll say, okay, Sandeep he was the first Puneite to get 100 plus patents, right? He is the first IBM Indian to get into the Wikipedia list of prolific inventors, right? You will see I'm kind of globally acknowledged, etc. So what this kind of tells is, okay, this guy probably has 380 plus patents. ये हम में से नहीं है, right? He probably is doing something different for him to come into the top 200 inventors list, जहाँ पे Thomas Edison is one of them, right? This is what this tells you about, and this is the impression that you will get. Now we will do the myth busting of who I am, right? So my journey, and this journey is important for me to explain ताकि 20 साल के बाद you will be able to say something similar, forget something similar, much greater than what this is. Right? So yes, I as a fresh joinee joined IBM year 2000, had a couple of international assignments. I've been in the US, I've worked in the US, I've come back here. Pune is my home country. I tried to get my first patent. Patent क्या होती है? एक idea होती है जिसने किसी ने सोचा नहीं होता है, and you have to file it, and if the world agrees that this is the first time, most of you all would know what's the patent, right? So I tried it for the first 6 years, right, of my career. I failed. Okay, so you can say, okay, Sandeep is a big failure. Let's go ahead, right? Yes, I got the first Master Inventor in 2009. Essentially, it took me 9 years to be named as a Master Inventor, right? तो तुम बोलेगा अरे इसको तो बहुत टाइम लग गया, right? So it's important for me. Then achieved 100 patents, issued 2013, 350 in 2023, Wikipedia listed, etc. इसमें bottom line क्या है that I want you all to take away is I failed for 6 years to get my first one, right? And then the journey continued till the next 15 years, right? So what I want you all to take away from this slide, or at least my journey, is prime tip for successful career: failure is the first step of success. Again, what I'm telling is something that maybe your parents have already been telling you, but for me, if कुछ भी अगर तुम ये सेशन से लेके जाओगे तो this is what I want you all to take away. Prime tip: failure is the first step to success, and persistent is the key for a successful career. Failure को embrace करो और persistent रहो. You should have the fire in the belly, right? So you should be sticky, right? If there is Marathi, we call it chikat paije, right? I don't know whether there are Maharashtrians here, or अगर पंजाबी हो बंदा कड़क चाहिए, छोड़ने नहीं वाला है, kind of thing. So okay, so that's persist. So this is what is the first message that I want to kind of give you all and orient yourself. Now let's get into. Now you will say, अरे I don't know who Sandeep is, right? लेकिन अपने सबको सचिन पाजी मालूम है, right? So let us take a look at Sachin Tendulkar's career, right? And see what we can orient ourselves. So if you look at Sachin's career, right? Surely is he the best batsman we ever have heard of? Maybe you people did not get as much of innings of Sachin that I got in my career. You people must be following Dhoni, relatively more Virat Kohli, all, but everyone knows Sachin. Todu hai. Now let's take a look at his number, and this is a statement by Rahul Dravid, right? Let's look at the best batsman of our generation, Sachin Tendulkar. He scored 100 hundreds. The only person who has scored 100 hundreds is Sachin Tendulkar as of today. But he didn't cross the 50-run milestone in 517 out of 7-8 times he batted. 700 बार उसने बैटिंग की है, but he did not even cross a 50-run mark 500 times, right? So if you look at this number, you will say, is he more of a failure than success? You see what I'm trying to say? Yeah. But the bottom line is, failure is a part and step to success. This is what I want to kind of rub it in you, right? So that you as MBA grads will be able to take that risk, etc. and say, okay, failure हुआ तो कुछ होने नहीं वाला है. I will start up again, कुछ दूसरा कर दूंगा. Good. So now you heard my example, failed for 6 years, right? And then finally got the first patent, and then eventually, you don't probably consider me. Let's look at Sachin, failed for 500 times out of 700 times. Finally, he became the best batsman. He's acclaimed as the best batsman. Okay. So now with this, let's get further. What is a successful career? Right? As you people are into your innings of getting a 2 years, 1.5 years of MBA, and then you're going to get into your next phase of life, which is getting a career going. And what is a successful career? A career is a combination of one, achieving a reasonable level of financial stability. End of the day, we all tend to work for surely a certain financial stability. While you work, you should enjoy your work. I mean, if you don't enjoy work, you can get so far, right? So that's important. Second, finding that you are also happy and fulfilled with your life and career choices. It's a combination of these two. And this realization happens when you are in your 40s, right? Then you will say, Sandeep, why are you telling us when we are in our 20s? Why I'm telling you this is, मैं तुमको already बता रहा हूँ 40 में क्या achieve करना है, right? In terms of your career goal. And I want you all to achieve much more than this. But just to level set, these are the two combinations for a career. Paisa, financial stability, reputation, you want to do something else that no one else has done, kind of a thing, and finding your way, also happy and fulfilled in your life and career choices. All right. Now that you know at a high level what is a successful career, we are going to get into the next part, is who is responsible for your career. मुझे तो मालूम है सक्सेसफुल करियर के लिए संदीप ने बोल दिया कि दो चीज करने हैं. वी इवेंचुअली वांट टू बी फाइनेंशियल स्टेबल, मे बी एक्सेल इन दैट, वी नीड टू बी रेप्यूटेड, मे बी एक्सेल इन दैट, वी नीड टू एंजॉय अ जॉब, मे बी एंजॉय टू द फुलेस्ट, and third, we should have an happy and fulfilled life, right, in terms of work, etc. But who's responsible? It's going to be you, right? Any company, and if you're not responsible for your career, what happens is you're giving your career to someone else. And I'll get into the nitty-gritties of what I'm trying to get to, right? The message I want you all to. So you need to manage your own career as you get into your next phase of life. Then what are the tips for students like you all who are now in the 1.5 years going to get into the market and create disruption in the market? Is one, develop clarity of thought. It is very important. It's very easily said, clarity of thought, but a clarity of thought चाहिए, right? If I have to give you an analogy of, let's say, if you play in, if you watch, everyone watches IPL, right? So, and if you ask Chennai Super King, if he has clarity of thought, he knows what he wants, right? Whereas some of them, they say, okay, jaisa, we'll just try and see what is the outcome. But whereas if you look at Dhoni, he has a clarity of thought on what he wants to do. Similarly, in your career, you need to have clarity of thought. Second, you need to have ideals from different fields, right? किसने पूछा तुम्हारा ideal कौन है? Who is your ideal? You should have a viewpoint, right? Ideal कौन है? क्या मालूम कौन ideal है? If you someone asks who's your ideal, boss, in sports field I like XYZ, right? In business I like XYZ. In entrepreneurship I like XYZ. In politicians I like ABC. Have your idols from different fields. What happens is, because of that, you tend to develop those characteristics, right, of your idols, and you need to have the right idols, right? So we'll talk more about that also. And dream and envision where you see yourself 10 years from now. ये बहुत important है. You have to dream, right? I remember when I was in college, I used to dream, यार एक दिन मैं 100 patents लाऊंगा, right? And I was an average student, by the way, right? I was not like a college topper, etc. Yes, maybe coding, etc. But I was an average student. But मेरे दिल में एक चाह थी कि one day I'm going to get 100 patents. One day I want to be listed with Thomas Edison. It took me 20 years. But finally, I said, okay. So you need to have that inner desire, right? If I have to tell you, again, it's all philosophy, but it works, right? This is my mentor, Caroline Whitehead. She's in Australia. She had kind of told me that, Sandeep, you need to dream and desire with the innermost feeling. And when that happens, the whole world gets together to make it happen. Yes, it's a philosophy, but it works. The same philosophy was heard in one of the movies in Hindi. Om, see? अगर तुम किसी चीज को सच्चे दिल से चाहो तो सारी, it works, huh, by the way, right? So, but तुमको, that is the other part of the story. The first part of the story, पहले चाहो तो सही, मतलब it's not about चाहो girls and boys, but that's a different thing. About your career, what do I want, right? So this all starts with clarity of thought, and then ideal कौन है? अच्छा, मुझे 10 साल के बाद क्या बनना है? And वो change हो सकता है. By the way, time takes you where you change some of your goals. That's okay, but you should at least have one. Good. So far, so good? Yes, now you'll say, okay, Sandeep, you have told failure is the, you need to embrace failure. You have said you have to be persistent. You have to be, then you told successful career, I own my own career. वो सब बता दिया. Now start telling us, करूँ कैसे मैं? How do I do this? Right? So I need to again orient you. There are two ways. One is skills. You need to upskill yourself and skill, and that is the reason you people are in this college. So I'm not worried about your skills because you're already in the right college, and the college will take care at least of your skills. If you're going to pursue your MBA in finance, MBA in marketing, MBA in sales, MBA in HR, whatever you do, I am pretty much sure your skills will be in place. थोड़ा fight करना पड़ेगा, you'll have to study, but skills are very important, skill. Second one is mind. Mind is in your own hand, right? You have to make sure you train your mind, and training your mind is a session that I take for an hour or two. Someday maybe I can come over and we can have this session and train your mind, but I'll give you nuggets today as to what is mind and उसको train कैसे करते. ठीक है? So skills and mind. Now you'll say, Sandeep, tell us a little more on mind. Mind is a little abstract, right? So mind क्या है? What does mind really mean, right? So let's look at these three characters that we have seen as we have grown up, right? What would Chatur say? Chatur will say, the mind is an abstract concept used to characterize thoughts, feelings, subjective states, and self-awareness, and so on. Typical Chatur. अपना भाई क्या बोलेगा? Mind बोले तो अपुन के दिमाग का चाणक्य. Correct? And what will our Rancho say? In simple terms, your mind defines you, defines your present and your future. Simple terms so that you understand the concept of mind. It's a very powerful concept. Huh? I'm sure you people must be following Sandeep Maheshwari, etc. He has a couple of sessions on mind. I will endorse it. Go and have Sandeep Maheshwari sessions on mind, or go a couple of TED Talks on mind and subconscious mind. Or someday when I come here, I'll talk more on that. Okay, so now we have understood what is mind in simple words. Now, what are different set of minds? One is called growth mindset. Very important, right? You need to have a growth mindset. And so as an example, I've given, you have these three gentlemen. Do you know the names? Can you please tell me? Should that not be one of your idol, right? I mean, when we're talking about idols, etc. So I gave you an example of growth mindset. I'll get into details of what does growth mindset mean, right? Second is innovative mindset. What is a lethal combination? अगर दोनों का संगम है, if you confluence the two, that's a lethal combination in the industry today. This fellow has a growth mindset with an innovation mindset. That's it. That person is going to just stand out, right? It's easier said than done, but so innovation mindset, you know these three? Quickly. Correct. And both these mindset actually complement each other, right? But you now you will say, Sandeep, why are you talking about mindset? हम तो इधर MBA सीखने आए, ये सीखा क्या रहा है? Psychology. End of the day, you will think and you will remember me saying, if you get this right and you have your skills, I swear by God, you will remember this day कि यार he oriented my mind, right? And not now, maybe 10 years from now. So this is very important, while you would not be able to appreciate as much sometimes at your particular age. Okay, so now you are going to get into what is a growth mindset. I gave you an example of what are growth mindsets, right? But what is growth mindset? See, what growth mindset is about, guys, I'm going there because this works, ticker works there, not about I'm having an affinity here, right? So fixed mindset and growth mindset. A fixed mindset typically would say failure is the limit of my abilities. Generally होता है, and यार अभी मतलब क्या 2 बार attempt किया नहीं हो रहा है, give it up, right? But whereas a growth mindset, failure offers opportunities and growth. ये नहीं तो कुछ और से, right? Simple फंडा है, but it kind of works, right? My intelligence, if static, my intelligence can be developed. I know so much only versus I can actually grow and linearly grow. That's what this is, right? I avoid challenges, I learn to embrace challenges. क्योंकि challenge embrace किया तो ज़्यादा क्या होगा? I will fail. But our first slide was failure is the first step to success, right? So I keep trying and never give up. I stick to what I know. ये मुझे मालूम है, इसमें से घुमाना है. Whereas I'm just going to, I'm inspired by others and by other people's success, right? I'm either good at it or I am not, right? Whether here it is like my mistakes help me grow. You see, these questions, if you kind of understand, help you into a growth mindset. And all this will help you as you learn your MBA in finance, MBA in strategy, etc. Because once you have the skills and you have a growth mindset, you will be able to apply, create strategies for your companies that you'll work for, create how do I want to do marketing, etc. So this becomes a seed. This is what I tell my prodigies, right, across industries. Guys, if you want to really differentiate, get into the growth mindset. Okay, so now we have learned what is growth mindset. But what is the lethal combination? A growth mindset coupled with an innovative mindset. So now you will say, Sandeep, what is innovative mindset? Peel the onion. कुछ ज़्यादा बताओ यार, ये क्या हवे में बात कर रहे हो? So we all know Steve Jobs, right? Apple phone, Mac, the person who envisaged it and created it. I'll tell his story also. So innovation is the only way to win. This is not my words. This is Steve Jobs' words. If you ask me what are my words, and I thought I could get qualified to say something given I could get about 300 plus patent is, in my opinion, you innovate or you evaporate. Any company, it's easy to stay in the market for 5 years, maybe 10, or max 15. You want to persistently stay in the market and not evaporate, you need to innovate, right? And this is what I keep telling for my engineers and real, this innovation is the only way real professionals like you all to make themselves relevant, right? Boss, ये strategy तो कोई भी बता देगा. I will tell you what is different and what will work. Able to assimilate what I'm saying? Good. So we'll get a little more deeper now. Let's say what is innovation, right? And let's see, I have a video and we probably would want to get the audio on the, let's try it, we'll see how it goes. So there are various definitions of innovation. People kind of say, ki Sandeep, what is innovation, right? In my opinion, innovation is the ability to see the missing dots. And I have handpicked a video not made by me, one of the YouTubers, and I almost spent about 5 days to find which is the video that describes innovation, and I'm going to show you that. But before that, you would say, okay, Sandeep kya fande baar raha hai? Let us hear from the bigger grades. Innovation is seeing what everybody has seen and thinking about nobody has thought. Everyone sees the same thing, but can you see something that others can't see? This is all mindset, right? Now you would say, Sandeep, ye to research ka funda hai. We'll get into myth busting also, right? It's not research funda. It is applicable for MBA students. Oh yeah, and we'll get into that. Innovation is the change that unlocks new value, right? It has to unlock something new. What did Thomas Edison say? There is a way to do it, find it. Do it better, just find it. There is going to be already things, isko acha kaise kare, that could lead you into innovation. When you innovate, you got to be prepared for everyone telling you are nuts. The good thing is I don't have to explain you, given most of you all have seen Three Idiots. Have you seen it? Yes. So in that people call you an idiot, right? So similarly, if you're going to do something different, be prepared that it's not going to be an easy acceptance, and so be it, right? Because हमारा first mantra क्या ज़्यादा क्या होगा? We will fail. If we fail, it's a first step to a success. And you people are so young in your, I wish I were of your age, right? You people are so young that you have so much time with you. I wish someone had told me this when I was your 20s, right? And maybe I should have been as smart as you to assimilate this. And then maybe I could have done what I did. Instead of in my 40s, I could have done it in 30s. So now what I want to do is I want to play this video, right? Let's see, I wanted to make sure you hear the video. If you can't, you'll just need to get the mic here.
What is innovation? Life is made up of dots. Many, in fact most people, believe that the dots they see every day are all the dots there are. So life goes along according to these known dots. Decisions and solutions are based on these commonly known dots, as well as many conclusions too. Some companies build their entire businesses on these known dots. This we know. Life is made up of dots. Many, in fact most people, believe that the dots they see every day are all the dots there are. So life goes along according to these known dots. Decisions and solutions are based on these commonly known dots, as well as many conclusions too. Some companies.
Sorry guys, some technical details. Let's fix this once more time.
Life is made up of dots. Many, in fact most people, believe that the dots they see every day are all the dots there are. So life goes along according to these known dots. Decisions and solutions are based on these commonly known dots, as well as many conclusions too. Some companies build their entire businesses on these known dots. This we know as the status quo, business as usual. Then one day, someone comes along and sees one or more dots beyond the commonly agreed upon dots. Dots that others missed, dots that are ignored, dots that others have long since forgotten about. Some like these new dots and celebrate this new discovery. Liking how things currently are and comfortable with everyday dots. Some protest these new dots. Some even claim they are invalid, or worse, are imaginary dots that don't even exist. Yet, it's these new dots that potentially change everything. What is the source of these new dots? Notions. Unexpected connections. Ideas. Possibilities. And imagination. Fire was one of these dots. So is the wheel. And the bicycle. And the automobile. And the computer, as well as the internet, the smartphone, and the tablet. In fact, many of today's common dots were at one time uncommon, newly introduced dots. So what is innovation? Those other dots, the ones others miss, and having the certainty to know that the dots you see are not only valid, but necessary if the world is to move forward.
Did you get the gist of it? Now, if you have not got the gist, I'll send this video again. I know it was it playing well here? Okay, some mishap there. We'll try and fix it. Or end of the session, I'll play it again, right, using a different medium, right. Long story short, what it was showing is the ability to see the missing dots, right. Everyone sees the same dots. Sabko sab dikhta hai. You are able to see the same thing which I am able to see. Can you see something that I cannot see? And you see what I'm saying? Right. So that is what comes into that is what derives into innovation. And that is the seed for innovating, and that's applicable for everything, right? And which I'm going to do the myth busting about, right? So what is the myth busting? Now we know what is innovation. Innovation is an ability to see the missing dots. Well, how can I see something that others are not able to see? Right? That is what is innovation. But innovation has a lot of myths. What do people feel? कि यार innovation सिर्फ research lab में होता है. Innovation only happens in research lab. It only happens if you're doing PhD. That's a big myth, right? And I wanted to burst that myth. So innovations can happen and do happen in strategy. And you people are going to define the strategy of so many companies that you're going to work for, right? Or probably create your own company as we get along. So innovation does apply to strategy, does apply to risk management, it does apply to people management. A lot of y'all are going to end up becoming managers, right? It's going to be how you're going to do people management. It does apply to customer handling, marketing, and we even kid about at my age it also on how you're going to manage your spouse or your girlfriend, right? Innovation is applicable everywhere. What does innovation then really mean in simple terms? If there is a problem and if you can come up with a better solution which is better than the existing solution, or there is no solution at all, there's an undiscovered problem and you're going to go come up with a solution, that will lead to innovation. Engineering में simple फंडे में ऐसा है. See, if you find a problem that no one else has solved, whatever is the solution, that's an innovative solution. But that is a rare breed, right? But if you find a problem and you find a solution which is better than any of the existing solution, that's an innovation. And this can be applicable to strategy, finance, business, people management, engineering, research, everyone. So आज के डेट में किसी ने आपको बोला कि does innovation only engineers have to apply? No. Innovation is applicable in all fields. Okay. So this is what I wanted to make sure I kind of rub it in you, right, as you get into this. So now you're going to say, Sandeep, give me some examples. We are here to study MBA, right? We are going to be the management graduates. Can you give us an example that we can relate to? So I just wanted to show you this example of Nike. Right? It's a pic from one of the parks in New York. Don't you think, I don't want to explain what this is, लेकिन वो देख के लगता नहीं है कि this is something unique. You will catch your eye on it, right? This is the first figure, right, where you don't have something to, it is telling you, run. That's a different way of marketing, right, in which I qualify as innovation. And since it was innovative, I am actually talking about it with 100 students. Indirectly, Nike didn't even realize that a person who has 380 patents is trying to do marketing with 100 next generation students by showing this ad purely because this was innovative. आज के दिन में उनकी free marketing हो गई है, which I did without getting paid, and we started talking about Nike. I hope you are able to get the larger message here, right? Something similar. So this is again example from New York where the trains run under the ground, the tube, right? And the tube always emit a lot of steam and gas, right? And it comes along. What did the local coffee shop do? He went and just sketched this, and people started looking at, "Arey, ye kya hai?" It's a simple sketch of an coffee cup, right? It's all colored and it keeps giving steam because it was done on top of this. It caught the attention of every pedestrian on that, and this coffee shop became quite famous. I'm giving you examples, again, naive one, right? Then I'll give you example of a Red Bull. Some of y'all would know Red Bull when they launched. You know Red Bull? Okay, not that I'm endorsing energy drinks, right? But generally, when Red Bull came into picture, right, came into market, there was already a lot of energy drinks. Now, how do I get my market into it? So what did they do? They crushed all the Red Bull cans and they filled the entire London trash cans with empty cans of Red Bull. They went to games, right? Just a cricket game, let's say IPL. They went to IPL, and in every IPL they used to go inside, and jahan pe dustbin hai, they used to just fill it with empty cans of Red Bull, all destroyed, something like what I'm showing. What that gave is, अरे ये कौन सा drink है जो सब पी रहा और मैं नहीं पी रहा, right? Look at that, hundreds of people are drinking this drink. I didn't even know what this is. Let me try one. It starts with that, right? So it's innovative marketing. Yeah, I'm trying, and then you'll say, अरे संदीप ऐसे idea मैं कहाँ से आऊँगा? How can I get these ideas? I told you about all the mindset, right? It all comes from the mindset. Strategy skills, the college will teach you. Blend of it, you will get into all of this. Then I'm taking this example of, this is from the founder of CRED. Does anyone know founder of CRED? Kunaj. So I also find him very innovative, right? Again, is he an engineer? Yes, but he's more of an entrepreneur, right? Now see his innovation. What happened is he wanted to make CRED popular. I'm not endorsing CRED, by the way, right? But as an example so that you all can appreciate. Right? And all the views that I'm talking here doesn't belong that of my employer, but all views are that of me myself. So I can always say download an app and I'll give you 5 rupees. That's a typical way of doing it. Download my app, I'll give you a coupon code, etc. But what he said is, download my app and I will send you a cake. Right? So I will send you a cake in your office or in your school. You tell, send me a cake in my home? No. I will send you a cake and celebrate that you downloaded my app in your college, in your office. What used to happen? People used to say, "Arey, there used to be cake coming from CRED." They used to keep it in the table and say, "Arey, aapko cake cut karna hai." Arey, cake kahan se mila? And that simple 500 rupees cake, which he was giving to one person, 100 people used to come to know, "Arey, this cake he got because of he downloaded CRED." What is CRED? Simple marketing innovation. How you reach to a larger audience, right? As opposed to, I found that very intriguing. And this one we typically know, this is psychological trick, right? Cost of shoe, you put in 999.99. Bata has kind of, I would say, patented this, right? कभी समझ, अरे 900 का तो लिया है, actually 1000 का होता है. You see, simple trick, but it's important for me, for y'all to know how these innovations and innovative mindsets are applied. Okay, how are we doing on time? Another 10 minutes. This is my more or less last slide. Depends how excited you are for me to give you more examples. So people, this is the question that people ask me. This one slide is what people keep asking me. Ki Sandeep, you got this typically 100 plus patents. What is the mantras applicable to managers, engineers, HR, everyone? What is that 5 mantras that if we follow, we'll be able to innovate, right? So the mantras are: 1, identify problems. You need to identify problems. You need to create a mindset to identify problems, right? It is initially difficult. You train your mind, it's not that difficult, right? You should be able to identify यहाँ पे कुछ problem है. तुम्हारे अभी जहन में चलना चाहिए था कि यार ये संदीप का ये जो वीडियो चलाया वो ढंग से प्रेजेंट नहीं हुआ, टेक्नोलॉजी में प्रॉब्लम है, right? So everywhere your mindset is working, is there a problem anywhere? So identify problem. Second, even more important, learn to articulate the problem in 2 ways. 1, orally, and 2 in written form. Because once you identify problem, the job is only 10%. You are able to articulate the problem is 50% solved. And then you are able to write down the problem, it is 100%. Then the solution is ready to be thought on. These 3, believe me guys, works. I practice even today. I was thinking of what new I can build. I was thinking about sustainability. Sustainability is the in thing, etc. And so I thought of something, but still I don't say it. Now you will say, कहाँ पे बोलूँ मैं? दोस्त को बोलो. If you don't believe in your friend, go to the mirror and talk to yourself. Finds funny, I do it. Right? Just articulate the problem to your friend or to yourself and then write it down. And as you write, the thought becomes more clear and clear. Again, very simple but works. Second, have the ability to question the obvious. This is also very powerful, right? And you'll say, yaar, ye Sandeep kya baat kar raha? Question the obvious matlab kya, right? So since we have some time, let me take you to my backup slide. इसमें क्या दिखता है? डॉट दिखता है, ब्लैक शीट दिखता है. किसी को डॉट दिखा, किसी को ब्लैक शीट दिखा, but the point is conveyed. According to me, it is a dot and a white black sheet, right? So you're trying to find where is the ambiguity. इसमें problem क्या है? When you look at this, what do you come to know? There's some problem with this. I'm not able to make out something. Whether these glasses have a glass or it's only a frame. Maybe they are very good, well cleaned glasses, right? I mean, what I'm trying to say is the answer is not important. The thought process of knowing that there is a potential problem here is important. कि कुछ तो लफड़ा है. There is something wrong here, right? Manhole is round, right? When you go walk on manholes, predominantly manholes are round. Do you even ask yourself, ये round क्यों है? What I'm trying to kind of rub it in you is, do you question the obvious? Obviously, there's a reason behind why it is round, because if it's round, it cannot fall into it, etc. That's the reason behind it, which is a good reason for you to know. But my challenge here is not for knowing the answer. My challenge here is, are we questioning the obvious? One more. Did you ever think, why does the clock go clockwise? अरे क्या, बचपन में माँ बाप ने बोला ये clockwise है. I went to school, they said this is clockwise, right? I never questioned that a clock is why clockwise and why not anti-clockwise. एक यहाँ पे क्यों नहीं है? Clock ऐसा क्यों जाता है? Again, I am not trying to challenge what is the answer. Yes, the answer is about how the sun moves, how the clocks were formed during when we had those solar clocks, etc. All that is the thing is, do you question the obvious? Right? So another example I'll just give you as is buttons कहाँ पे होते हैं, left या right पे? क्यों होते हैं? Left is saying left, right is saying right, right? But the point is really not what it is right. I mean, where it is. The question is why it is that way, right? So again, it comes back to the point I'm trying to make is ability to question the obvious. किसी ने कंपनी में strategy बोल दी, you have come fresh from this particular MBA college, learnt about it, question the strategy. Right? Obviously, you have to humbly question the strategy. I'm not saying कि जाके, but you know what the point is, right? Don't take things for granted. Appreciate wilderness and back failures. You need to appreciate wilderness, right? With your friends. Wilderness means go and one assignment I'll give you. After you go search for wild duck animation. Wild goose, I think, right? It talks about what is wilderness. It's a 2-3 minutes. This you will be able to get an example. Now repeat steps 1 to 4 that I have jotted down. Goose, wild duck, Google मिल जाएगा. Okay, repeat steps 1 to 4 unknowingly by understanding the power of subconscious mind. This is the mantra of life, subconscious mind. Right, and I'll just give you an example of what is subconscious mind, and then you will be able to relate to it. But if you repeat 1 to 4, I can give you in writing that whatever you do and you apply this, you have an innovative mindset and growth mindset. Whatever we talked about in my slide number 2 of successful career is guaranteed. Right? Surely it comes with all the other skills, which I'm not talking about, your soft skills, how you're going to present, how you're going to articulate. I was more inclined to tell you all about innovative mindset. I was more inclined to tell you all about the growth mindset. We are here to orient you all. You see what I'm saying, right? Now, if you really realize, what did I say? Slide number 1, whatever I'm telling is obvious. I did not tell you all anything that was mind-boggling. But the whole idea and intent is the obvious gets missed, right? And I want you all to realize that. The last 2 I wanted to see. Now let's see whether the video works or not, right? But I wanted to, let's see if this works, right? So people say, what is subconscious mind? Subconscious mind क्या होता है और कितना powerful होता है, right? And I wanted to give an example. When you go for driving for the first day you go for driving. How many people know a 4-wheeler? Okay, half of 2-wheeler. Okay, so almost we are the first day when we drive. What happens? Let's see whether this plays. This is what happens. First day of driving, what is happening? You are here, you're looking at a bumper ko lag raha hai kya? Arey, I can't see that guy. Arey, I can't this, where is the accelerator, where is the gear, etc. You are driving with your conscious mind. Your conscious mind is trying to drive and you're trying to learn, right? This is consciousness. What happens after 30 days? This is your subconscious mind. What has happened in 30 days? You have trained your subconscious mind to do the driving. And your conscious mind is doing what Chris Tucker is doing, right? This is the power of conscious and subconscious mind. I do not know how to explain you more simpler than this, right? This is what you apply for your innovative mindset. People say me, Sandeep, 300 patent kaise? Boss, मैं तो कुछ नहीं करता हूँ. I've trained my subconscious mind to find the ideas and the problems. My conscious mind, I'm talking with you all. I hope you are able to get the message, right? So with this, my last slide, message that I want you to take away. 1, you own your own career, right? Failure, you have to embrace your failure. 2, skills and mindsets play a key role for a successful career. Skills, you're already in a good college, so I'm not worried about your skills. Mindset, I've explained you. I hope you are able to appreciate what I made an attempt to explain you, which is more on the growth mindset and the innovative mindset. I love some appreciation if people are really able to get it, because then after 10 years, I would be able to say, yaar, ek bande ko to I was able to reach. And growth mindset and innovation mindset are the mantras. How do you get the innovation mindset mantras? I've already given you those 5 mantras, right? That you have to kind of follow, in which questioning the obvious, number 1, problem articulation is the number 1, questioning the obvious is the number 2. Does anyone remember number 3? Number 4, you're going to see a wild duck animation when you go home, right? I think the best assignment you'll ever get in this semester is from me to go and see some animation films, right? And the last one is about the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind, how do I train a subconscious mind? This session is too small for that. Someday I may come and we can take a session of how to train a subconscious mind. But if I'm challenged, you are very enthused about it, go and look at Sandeep Maheshwari, go to TED Talks. There are very extensive sessions on how do you train your subconscious mind, right? So if I can is more powerful than your IQ. This is my statement that I gave in Times of India. You can go read one of the editions, which is very powerful. बोलता है रईस का IQ बहुत अच्छा है. Your I can will beat anyone else IQ, right? So please believe in that, right? Your I can will always beat any IQ, and that is how the world has been. So with this, I wanted to thank you. I'm open for any questions that you have, but I hope I was able to convey you and orient your mindset for this lovely 18 months to 24 months MBA session that you're going to have. Thank you, students. कोई क्वेश्चन है? सी आई अंडरस्टैंड मराठी, हिंदी, इंग्लिश, थोड़ा बहुत जर्मन भी आता है, एंड आई एम प्रीटी when I have nephews of your age, etc., right? So kuch bhi hai, you can follow me on LinkedIn. With students, I guarantee a response within a day. With professions, within a week. With colleagues, within 1 month, right? So with students, it's always a priority. You can connect me on LinkedIn. If any questions, any doubts, right, with mindset or any in general, if I can help, I'll be more than happy to help. You can just Google Sandeep Patil, IBM, first hit LinkedIn, that's me. The US, where he mentored me saying, Sandeep, this can be done, and this is how you have to do it, right? So the one credit that I would want to give, and I want you all to take away, is have mentors. It's very important to have mentors. Mentors in your institute, mentors outside your institute, right? Mentors from different phases of life. So for me, I think my mentor brought me back into this and kind of put me a belief saying, don't give it up, try kar. And that's what happened. It was Dweep Banerjee, I think he's somewhere in the US, but who actually got me. So the key mantra, which I didn't talk about, is have mentors. Okay, so the question is, after we do your education, what is my opinion or my advice, right, on whether you want to get into corporate or whether you want to do your own startup or of your own entrepreneurship? See, this is my opinion. The answer is going to be very individual specific. I cannot give a very broad brush answer saying everyone join corporate, everyone do startup. It actually goes back to what I had laid there saying, where do you see yourself, let's say 5 or 10 years down the line, right? It goes down to, do you have that clarity of thought? If you don't know, you have the entire one year to get that clarity of thought, right? And once you figure that out, once you know who your ideals are, whom you look up to, that process will help you come up with this answer, right? So I don't want to, all avenues are good, but it is going to work for individual if you follow the process. Clarity of thought, get your ideals right, and then envision yourself 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line. And that should answer your question. Okay, thanks guys.
We extend our sincerest gratitude to you, sir, for conducting this remarkable and enlightening session. I'm sure the students have learnt a lot today, and they will now question the obvious. Is that so? Yes. Thank you so much, sir, for being here and conducting this session. We look forward to your next visit to our campus.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.